Hey peeps, it's Andercon at Badash Games. I wanted to show a little bit of Astro Disaster, what I've been working on this game here. Currently up to version 0.0592. We've actually had quite a lot since the last video on this game. So what I've been working on most recently was the menu system, which is displayed right here. Now the load doesn't have anything in it, it's a placeholder, so it's a new game, I hadn't got to those systems yet. Graphics, fully working, well, pretty much. The monitor select doesn't seem to do anything if you change that, but it could just be because I'm on Linux and it works weird. It might be used more in Windows or something. It's supposed to allow me to change which monitor is working, like it's being displayed on, but for some reason it doesn't do it. Everything else completely works. Full screen window here always gives you a full screen at your max resolution, so you can't really change the resolution in full screen mode, full screen window mode. Regular full screen, you can change it to wherever you want. My monitor and computer may not be able to handle every mode. I'm not going to currently change it to any one of these right there, just because it's going to mess up the entire video anyway. And if the full screen fails, it'll set it back to full screen window with a full resolution and the proper monitor and such. And so it's pretty much guaranteed to give you a working video. Somehow it'll do it, and won't just crash and burn. Window, you can change it to whatever you want. These all work, pretty well guaranteed. And we also got vertical sync. Vertical sync's kind of a suggestion. If your monitor or computer can't do vertical sync, it just won't do it. So it won't crash and burn. And you just hit apply and it would put any of those on. Let's see, controls, there's nothing in it yet. Sound, we got music volume and sound volume. I don't have the sound system quite installed yet, but the sound you hear, the song you hear in the background is actually a song my wife made for this game, and she's going to make a bunch more. Let's see, we also got credits, fully working. It's got my wife and I in there, and you can quit the game from here too, and I'm just hitting escape to get out of that. So we had a bunch of other things go on since the last video. For instance, the big change you hear is better resolution for the graphics here. Now this is currently taking my regular well, the internal resolution is basically 320 by 200, and it's being scaled up, in this case 4 times, and then displayed on the screen here. And so my 16 by 16 pixel ship here is basically being displayed on a 64 by 64 palette, pretty much. So is everything else, so it actually looks fairly crisp, even when it's turned sideways. And I honestly think it looks pretty good like this. Way better than the way it was. Also, speaking of the ship, I just probably, this was yesterday's work? Probably yesterday and the day before's work, I made a new graphics for the ship itself. Well, the pod here. And it's themed to look just like, pretty well match the mothership. And it does. Looks good with it. Other things we were working on, most recently, we got new graphics. This is, well, there's actually 4 tile sets involved. We've got a terrain tile set, we've got a inside of buildings tile set, which is this blue stuff. And we've also got a fairly well matching terrains. No. Don't want to play that. We got a fairly well matching terrain tile set for the background, and there's also a inside of the building tile set for backgrounds as well, but I don't have that displayed right now, so that'll be displayed probably next or the next after video. I went and did some work with the level generation. I'm planning on making fully generated levels. That way you could play the game as many times as you would like. and I was going to well, I did a bunch of work, preliminary work with that. That way I could generate the background a little differently. It's randomly putting some of these background tiles in, and entire sections. For instance, this large hole right here, this is like a 2 tile by 4 tile wide section, and it checked to make sure that the background was cleared for that to be put in, and it didn't overwrite in a weird way of this other 2 by 2 tile right here, and it just stuck it in there kind of randomly. And every time currently I open the game, it's going to have a different background. The other major thing I was working on is Kingston here's got a whole bunch of dialogue for all the stuff that you drop in the mothership. He'll say something about it. He'll tell you at least a couple lines about any item. That way you have some idea what each thing is once you've collected it. And that was quite a lot of dialogue and is to put in, so it took me a bit. He also has got a animation for when you put this in here, like his mouth will move and stuff like that. So let me just drop this sucker right in there, and you'll be able to see that. There's mouth's flapping. And he also put on a different face depending on what you put in here. If there's an item or two in here he doesn't really understand or know what they are, so he'll just be like, what's that? And he'll give you a funny looking face. He also has a mood system, so if you go die a whole lot, he'll get in a worse mood, and you'll start getting other dialogue messages for when you die. And you'll just have to later explore what those are, because he can get pretty rude sometimes. But if you also get a whole bunch of items, he'll get a little happier every time you find something. See, he's got a different ending face there. He's like, well, what's this? But if you go and collect a whole lot of items, he'll slowly get in a better mood, and he'll have better dialogue for, well, when you die currently. I'll probably end up changing more of the dialogue stuff, so if he'll say different things about the items, depending on what his mood is. But by default, he kind of starts a little bit extra happy. That way, since if you're brand new to the game and you die a whole lot, it'll be quite a while before you saw him mad. But also, let's see, what else? He'll also say some things when you drop him in the ship, too. Just drop him in there real quick. When you dock next, we can blast off. So normally when you change your level, you'll have to pick him up, put him in the mothership, and then next time you drop in there like that, you'll just automatically blast off and go to a level select screen. Of course, I haven't made that yet. But in general, a whole lot of development's being done. It's slow because it's literally raw C++ I'm working in. There's no fancy game engine to speed things up or anything. But it's coming along. Well, I'll give you another video here in another major version or two, and we'll see how it goes. I'll catch you next time. Bye! Hey, before I do, let me show you what happens when you keel over. It'll only take a moment. I forgot. Boom. But also, he'll say something. I'm sure you can do it. Keep trying. You can make it. And that's good advice for you too. See you later.